Hi, this is Ann from shopbakersnook.com, and what we're going to be making today are filled chocolate candies. What that is basically a chocolate shell with a nice yummy filling on the inside, and they're very easy to do, and it's a great holiday present. What we're going to use for these is first we're going to use a filled candy mold. Now these come in all different shapes and sizes. What it is you basically need it tall enough so that you can fit your chocolate and your filling in. You don't want to use those really short molds for filled candies because you won't be able to get any filling in there. We're going to use Merkin's milk coating today. That's going to be the outside of our candies. And we're going to be using these pre-made candy fillings, and they come in two different types. We have a tub filling. These are a little bit stiffer. You can actually even take these, scoop them, roll them into a ball, and dip them in chocolate. This one we'll be using today is peanut butter. Then we're also going to be using, these are called Squeeze-Ums. These are a softer candy filling. Already in a bag, ready to go. Basically what we do is cut a little tip off the end and squeeze it into our mold. To get our candy painted up the side, we're going to be using paint brushes. To get our chocolate into our molds nice and neat, we're going to be using a candy funnel. Once you use this, you're never going back to a spoon, let me tell you. And then finally, we're going to be using white cotton gloves. These are going to give our candy a nice shiny appearance so that when we touch them with our fingerprints, we don't get fingerprint marks on our chocolate. So let's get started making our candy. Okay, now we're going to get started. What I have here is my milk chocolate that we've melted in the microwave. Remember to do that. It's 50% power. Put it in a microwave safe bowl like Rubbermaid Tupperware. 1 minute, stir it every minute, and then you'll have a completely melted bowl of chocolate. We're going to take this chocolate and we're going to pour it into our candy funnel here. And this really is the easiest way to fill your chocolate molds without a lot of mess. Now let me show you a little bit about the way the funnel works. You have your thumb on here and your finger on this little trigger. When you pull up, the chocolate flows out. When you push down, it stops. And that's the way your funnel works. So what we're going to do now is take our mold and we're going to fill each one of these cavities about 1/3 of the way with the melted chocolate. See how I don't get any drip marks all over my mold? I get the chocolate exactly where I want it to be. Now, if you put a little extra in here, it's fine. You just have a little more chocolate and a little less filling. There is no wrong way to do this. Okay, now we have our molds all filled 1/3 of the way. We're going to take our paintbrush and we're going to paint this chocolate up the side of the mold. And we're going to do that on all of these cavities. What we're doing here is we're forming the shell that's going to hold our filling. And this is the same process no matter what size mold you're using, no matter what shape mold you're using. You're going to do the exact same thing no matter what type of candy filling. It's really simple. You just take your brush. Now, once I have these all done, one trick is to turn it around because I may have missed a couple spaces because I can't really see that side. So you're going to make sure you have it all the way to the top, all the way around the mold. Now at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take this mold and we're going to put it into the freezer, and then we're going to get ready to fill it with our candy fillings. Okay, we have our mold back from the freezer. Now the reason we put our mold into the freezer is because it's going to give our chocolates a nice shiny appearance. You're not going to get that same look if you stick your mold in the refrigerator or if you just leave it on the counter to set up. So now we have this nice little chocolate shell that's ready for our candy fillings. We're going to start with the Squeeze-Ums. Now what I like to do is I like to take my scraper and kind of push that filling down so that I'm going to get every last bit of it out of my bag. So I'm going to push it down all the way to the end. See, and then I'm not wasting any of that filling. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut a little tip off the end of this. And then we're going to take our mold, and this is just going to be just like we do with frosting. And I'm going to squeeze it in here, and then I'm going to stop right before I get to the top, because I want to make sure that there's a chocolate shell all the way around the top, so that when I put more chocolate on, it's going to seal that filling inside. And I'm just going to do that on each one of these. We're going to do half of these with this, and then we're going to do half of them with the peanut butter filling. See, these hold a nice amount of filling, so they're going to taste really good when you bite into them. And what I also like to do is I'll use like different shape molds for different kind of fillings, so that when you get a box of candy, you can identify what kind of filling is inside them. Now this is our peanut butter filling. This is a little stiffer than the black raspberry. This type of filling you can actually roll into a ball. You don't have to use a mold with this. You can take a little scoop of this and take it and roll it into a ball and dip that ball in chocolate. You don't have to do it with the mold, but I like to use a mold because it gives it a nice professional look to it. So we're going to take some of this filling and we're just going to press it into there. Same thing, we want to be able to see chocolate all the way around the top. See how simple this is? This is a great project to do with your kids too. And this is a perfect present for Christmas. Like, make a box of these chocolates, especially for someone who you don't know what to get a present for, or like your mail carrier, teachers, anything like that. Who doesn't appreciate something that's homemade? And with lots of different varieties of filling, you can customize these any way that you like. Okay, now we have our mold completely filled with our fillings. So now what we're going to do is take our funnel again, and we need to top these all off with chocolate. So we're just going to put a little bit of chocolate. I like to stop, kind of take the edge of my funnel and make sure that I have enough on there. Kind of push it all the way to the edges. Now don't overfill these, because you don't want chocolate all the way around the edge. You want a nice clean look to your chocolates. But if you do overfill them when they come out of the freezer, you can just take a little sharp knife and trim them up if you'd like. Okay, now that we have that all filled on there, what I'm going to do is just tap my mold lightly so that they get a nice smooth bottom to them. And now this is going to go back in the freezer, and then we're ready to package them up. Okay, now we have our chocolates back from the freezer for their final time, and we're ready to unmold them and package them for gift giving. So what we want to do is we want to take our mold and we're going to flip it over. And look at, see how easily they dump out? If they don't dump out really easily, what you can do is kind of flex the mold a little bit, and that should release them. If they don't come right out, you may need to stick them back in the freezer for a minute. Now we're going to package these up. What I have here is I have a little gold tray that I'm going to put in this box. And now I have my chocolate gloves on. These are the white cloth gloves. So now when I touch my chocolates, I'm not going to leave fingerprints, and they're going to stay this nice shiny appearance. If you see what nice and shiny look we get to these from the freezer. So I'm going to just put these in this nice box. And the little cavities are going to keep them from moving around, and it's going to make them look so professional. Most of your friends and family will think you bought these, but please take that as a compliment. And there you have it. We have this beautiful box of chocolates ready for gift giving that looks like it came right out of Godiva. So we hope you will visit our website at shopbakersnook.com for more products, tips, and ideas.